area under curve, and regardless of whether it is above or below the x-axis. So this area under curve means we are taking two concentrations of the drug, two x values, and in between these two x values we are calculating how much quantity is there in the body of the animal. Then this is known as the area under curve. Here you can see area under curve. Here we can take if 2 points. One is, so if you take that you have administered the drug by, of course, maybe intravenous route, then here at the 2 hours, then 4 hours, and this is the area under this particular curve. It is very much required for calculating how much quantity of the drug is available at a given time. That is area under curve. So this is useful in assessing the bioavailability of a given drug, bioavailability of a given drug. So, and this is depending upon the peak plasma concentration or Cmax and Tmax, or time to attain peak plasma concentration, Cmax and Tmax, and area under curve. So area under curve always refers to the extent of how much quantity of the drug is available for action, pharmacodynamic action in a given time. It is area under curve. And as usual, the Cmax refers to the rate of bioavailability, the highest concentration of the drug available at a given time, or the Tmax means the time required to reach the Cmax. And see, this is a graph. Here the drug concentration y-axis, x-axis is time hours. Then you have admitted the drug as intramuscular because the concentration at 0 hour is 0. Then it go on increasing, then it starts elimination. Then if you take this particular as the area, it becomes like this, a solid mass which is very parallel to this thing, and the area under the curve represents how much of the drug is in the plasma over a given time is available. That simply determines the bioavailability of the drugs. So it is also referring to the exposure of the organs to the drug, or the quantity of the drug available in a given times. Suppose 4 to 6 hours, how much quantity of the drug was there? 16 to 18 hours. Like this, the area under curve is obtained, because here this is the time in the house, whereas the drug concentration in milligram or microgram, whatever it may be. So this pattern is followed. There is in the absorption phase, the increasing concentration will be there in the plasma, then it go on decreasing. So we are calculating the concentration of the drug available for the action between 5 hours and 25 hours. Then the area under curve is this much, 5 and 25. So we are going to calculate this particular thing with so many formulas are there. It's a just statistical calculation, and we are going to interpret it very fastly. So here in this particular graph you can see, then you are administering two formulations or two drugs. So A may be aspirin and B may be phenylbutazone. Just assume that the yellow one is the A, that is it is having the area under curve here, this particular this first slope. So this is the x-axis is the time after drug administration in hours, whereas the y-axis is plasma concentration, maybe in microgram per ml, or as well milligram per ml also. Then here you can see that the Cmax, this is the Cmax of the drug A. This is the Cmax of the formulation A, whereas the dotted one, the second, this is the Cmax. Here you can see that dotted lines. This is the Cmax, means the highest quantity of the administered drug available in the plasma, and it is attained the C max is attained at 2 hours in case of drug A, whereas it is 5 hours in case of drug B. Hope you can understand this very easily. And minimum toxic concentration is the one in which the what you call as the animal expresses the first signs of the toxicity. Of course, here it's not like, and at this dose, few of the receptors are being acted by the particular drug. That's known as the minimum effective concentration or MEC. And this is the Tmax, means at which the Cmax is reached. Yes, here you can see that in this particular thing, a drug is administered, it's go on increasing and reaches the maximum, which is Cmax, and the time required to reach this particular maximum concentration is Tmax. So the Tmax of drug B is more when compared to the Tmax of the drug A. Means in a shorter time, the drug A has achieved the peak plasma concentration, whereas for the drug B, it is little longer. So that's how this chart is being explained. This is the area. This is the area under curve. This one is the area under curve, or the availability of the drug in a given time. Suppose 2 and 3, 5, then this is the area under curve. Area under curve. Area under curve is the bioavailability of the drug in a given time. Yes, once again, why this this area under curve is differing from animal to animal and drug to drug is because the drug is being exchanged through, suppose in the venous blood the drug is given, then it directly goes to the lungs through the artery, suppose afferent arterioles, then it is going to liver and spleen. Once again, spleen to liver, all these exchange mechanisms are being taken place. Whereas the blood is going from the arteriole to the venous and excreted in the kidney or excretory organs. And some part is also going to be taken back in the venous circulation. And this is a generalized schematic diagram of binding and trafficking kinetic processes significant in the cellular pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetic of a protein drugs. It's a protein drug. Then there is binding equilibration is there. Here you can see that the agonist and antagonist, this equilibration is there. Then the agonist is released based on the signals, and sometimes the drugs are going to act on the nucleolus, the nucleus, then the lysosomal degradation of that particular drug will be there, and once again it will be recycled. So this called as the area under curve is dependent upon so many factors. Yeah, this is about the various terminologies: plasma half life, area under curve, C max and T max, etc. Now this is the last portion. Of course, in case of the pharmacokinetic is there, that's the compartment models. That's the compartment models. The body is divided into various components, and the in the first model, that's the single compartment model, 2 compartment model, and 3 compartment models. So the body, whenever it is administered by a drug, it is imaginally classified into various components or compartments. So modeling approaches. So there are 3 approaches that have been suggested for pharmacokinetic modeling. Then the number 1 is the compartmental model, then one the physiological model, and model independent approach are the 3 types of the modeling approaches. The first one is the body is what you call as divided into several compartments, whereas just like railway compartments, in case of railways there will be what you call as the AC compartment and non-AC compartment and general compartment, like that. The physiological model, so it's also depending upon the physiological model independent approach, means it is not related to any of the model, independently the drug moves. And Here, the pharmacokinetic models are once as usual. It's as told earlier, compartmental models, physiological models, and non-compartmental model. It's also known as here model independent approach means non-compartmental analysis. We will go what is the difference between the compartment and non-compartment. So the compartmental model is the traditional and most commonly used approach to pharmacokinetic characterization of the drug, and in this body is considered to be composed of several compartments. That's the imagination, just all that. Then that communicates reversibly with each other, means the body is imaginary, made as a compartments. The compartment means it's having the walls and windows, etc. Imaginarily it is considered as the several compartments. As infinite number of the components can exist in the body, like each organ tissue of the body fluid can form a compartment. Suppose the kidney is a compartment, the liver is a compartment, and kidney, liver both can be called as a compartments, and tissues having approximately similar drug distribution are pooled to form a kinetically homologous hypothetical compartment. See, the tissues having approximately similar drug distribution, the example kidney and liver, both are equally distributed with that of a particular drug, then it is called as kinetically homogeneous hypothetical compartment. And such compartments are thus only mathematical compartments, means only for the calculation of the certain parameters, mathematical entities, and have no physiological or anatomical meaning. Means the compartments are lot, we cannot compare it to the railway compartment or the room compartment. But mathematically, we are imagining the body into different compartments. Generally, model consisting of one or two, at the most three compartments arranged parallel to each other, are used to describe kinetics or most of the drugs. So the body is divided into first or two or three and multiple compartments, and these compartments are called as the open models. One compartment open model means because there is no restriction of the movement of the drug between compartments, as the drug freely move from one compartment to another. So we cannot restrict a blood to move from, not to move from kidney to liver, liver to brain or anything. So the drugs can distribute to various compartments without any restriction. That's why they are known as the open models, open model compartment. Just like these general bogies in the railways will have the open access, everybody can enter and everybody can inside, whereas the air conditioned bogies have the doors and some person is standing there to avoid. That's why it is called as the closed compartment, whereas the open compartments, no restriction to the movement of the drugs. So it is also assumed that the drug transfer between compartments and the rate of drug elimination from compartments follow first order linear kinetics. That means as the concentration of the drug increases, the elimination also getting this increased. So usually the movement of the drug or transfer of the drug between two compartments will follow the first order kinetics. As the concentration increases in one compartment, the concentration in the other compartment will also get increased. Whereas the compartment characteristic of a drug are best understood by giving it as the intravenous bolus dose and observing the manner in which the plasma concentration declines with time. So whenever you will understand this what you call as first order, the compartmental models, when you administer the drug intravenously, because there is no, it should be independent of the absorption, 100% absorption should be there. The number of the components required to describe such a plasma level time profile determines the number of compartments in which the drug will distribute. So here with the number or the experts required to describe such a plasma level time profile determines the number of compartments, how much compartment of the compartments are present in the body. So here you can see that the body is divided into varieties of the compartment like lipid compartment, lysosomal compartment, cytosol and protein. And the drug, of course, this is the plasma in case of a blood vessel. Then the drug may enter the lipids, lysosomes, cytosol or protein. Like this, the different body components it is going to attach. So here, this is the theoretical model, how the one compartment open model. Here, usually we are going to administer the drug IV, intravenous, then it starts excretion. So this is known as the intravenous administration. Extravenous means other than the venous, oral or any other thing. So this is about the one compartment. In detail, we are going to learn it next. Then two compartment open models means the body is divided into two compartments or central and peripheral compartments, and also both extravascular administration also it is two compartments will be imagined. Whereas the three compartment open models, it will contain first compartment, second compartment and the third compartment. Usually here the redistribution always occurs. And here you can see that IV means intravenous, EV means extravenous. Then K is equal to first order absorption rate constant, and K12 first order rate of the constant of the drug transfer of the central to peripheral compartments. K21 first order rate constant for the drug transfer from peripheral to central compartment. So in a single chart, they have expressed all the three type of the compartments. However, we have to learn it individually whenever we want to learn. And what is the difference between the open and closed model? Open means administer the drug, dose is eliminated from the body by excretory mechanism. That means the drug can move freely from one compartment to another compartment. That's called as the open model. The closed model, the drug dose is not eliminated from the body. That's the, whenever you administer the dose of a drug, then it is not at all eliminated from the body. It may go to some what you call as the sinks like the adipose tissues, bone, etc. But this situation is very rare. That's why we are discussing only on the open compartmental model. Open compartment model. So usually what happens, the body is classified into various compartments. Like one compartment is highly perfused, in which the blood supply is very high, whereas the second compartment is poorly perfused tissue, just like adipose tissue, and or the fat tissue is very poorly perfused. The fat group is another thing, and of course the negligible perfused tissue group is also there in the body. So varieties of this classification of the human body just by the compartments, 1, 2, 3, 4 compartments. And compartment models, once again, they can be divided into two models. One is the mammillary model and another one is the quaternary model. So what is the mammillary model? It is a compartment model in which the central compartment, that's the udder of a cow, it's the central compartment, is related to all other compartments, but there are no relations between the latter. And this linear memory model can be used to study the kinetics of the protein metabolism in the organism. So whereas the quaternary model curves has a U-shaped curve superficially similar in apparatus to a parabolic arc, but it is not a parabola. So here the concentration of the drug is initially high, then it subsides. Once again it reaches to the highest concentration. That's the quaternary model. And all these are imaginary model, nothing